Welcome to my presentation. I am A.K.M. Naushad Alam. Basically, I am a faculty member in Bangladesh Agriculture University. I used to teach fish processing, quality control, and seafood safety. Now I am working in FAO as a national specialist on post-harvest fish loss in a DOF FAO technical cooperation project. I will be talking on food loss and waste in the fisheries sector in Bangladesh, lesson learned. And lesson learned from our past and present experiences and some recommendations. The outline of my presentation so far, I'll just talk about the overview of post-harvest fish loss and the main actors involved who were suffering from post-harvest fish losses in fisheries value chain, and some critical points of post-harvest fish loss, and loss reduction measures, highlighting from our FAO Department of Fisheries technical cooperation projects. And I'll just end my talk with some recommendations. Let's see the types of post-harvest fish losses, what actually FAO defines. As per FAO, post-harvest fish losses are of three types. One is physical loss, another is quality loss, and another is market force loss. That is market loss. Physical loss is occurred due to many different reasons that reduce the weight of fish. So many factors are involved here. This causes loss in weight. There are quality loss, and quality loss generally occurs due to inadequate handling and preservation, distribution of storage of fish that lead to spoilage actually. And this spoilage is governed by bacterial action, autolysis of self-decomposition of internal components, and oxidative density of lipids. And market force loss, actually, the loss, it is the economic loss. It's the actually difference of expected price and actual price. And market force loss generally occurs by two ways. So one is excessive supply, abundant of fish, and another is man-made price reduction due to artificial price syndicating or price reduction in the market. So in Bangladesh so far, we have started post-harvest loss assessment mainly based on qualitative loss of fish, and from our project we have started a pilot loss assessment on physical loss and market force loss. Holistic approach on assessment of physical loss, market force loss, and quality loss has not yet been done. So we need to stress on this point. Three factors are involved in post-harvest fish loss. One is the time from harvest to utilization, another is temperature, and then handling conditions. Let's see some of the overview of post-production and losses. You see, the inland capture fishery produces 8 million metric tons of fish globally. It's the FAO report 2020, but Bangladesh, we produced 1.24 million metric ton. Inland aquaculture, 92 million metric ton global production. We produced huge 2.49 million metric ton. Marine capture fishery, 40 million metric tons global production. We produced 0.66 million metric ton. Marine aquaculture, 40 million metric ton. Although we have some coastal aquaculture, but truly we don't have any still data on marine aquaculture. So total global fish production 180 million metric ton, but in Bangladesh we have 4.38 million metric ton in 2019-20. Per capita consumption globally 20.5 kilogram, but we have enough 23.0 kg per capita per annum we are taking. Fish production is also said to be surplus in Bangladesh, and a loss of loss incurred. Post-harvest loss globally 35%. In some developing countries, if you say that it is up to 50%. We have conducted a pilot assessment in capture fishery, both marine and inland fisheries, and we found 21.7% in inland capture fisheries loss, and in marine fisheries, the loss incurred is 17.6%. And this, if we transfer this loss in value, we found that it is 2,200 million US dollar if we consider 1 kilo at the rate of 3.5 US dollar per kilogram. So our fish production is not uniform in all districts. Some districts may have surplus production, some districts have very deficit. As far as the graphic figure is concerned, you see the green districts produce more than 40,000 tons per annum. But with the fading of greenery, light green to yellow to pink to red, the production decreased, and in the red districts, only less than 5,000 metric tons of fish are produced. And post-harvest fish loss is more in fish deficit districts than for surplus, naturally because of inadequate distribution of fish. We have a lot of intermediaries in our value chain. From farmers to consumer, in the middle, a lot of intermediaries are there. There are secondary and tertiary markets even in fish market. So this value chain expedites post-harvest loss. In shrimp value chain also somewhat lengthy value chain, and that also expedites post-harvest fish loss as we calculated. So let's see the main actors who are suffering from this post-harvest loss, and how much loss are incurring with them. Recent study revealed that fishermen in inland capture fishery, they incurred a loss of 7.2%, 24%, auctioneer, transporter, retailer, little, and then the total loss is 21.65%. In the case of marine capture fisheries, loss is much lesser compared to inland capture fisheries. But this data is done only, it is a pilot assessment data, and done only in shorter value chain. So true figure may not be depicted from these figures. So we need to make a holistic assessment of post-harvest fish loss through assistance. This is the data of a qualitative loss assessment of fish post-harvest. So we it is old data, and we conducted a holistic loss assessment of 30 commercial fish species throughout the country, and we covered many different monsoon seasons, and from 150 kilometer to 500 kilometer distance we also covered, and we found prominent fish qualitative fish loss from transporter. In Arodhar it is much higher, retailer much higher, and vendor is much higher. And finally, the average loss in Arodhar was 7.1%, retailer 12.4%, and vendor 15.5%. Let's see some critical points. It is also well talked issue, and Ms. June and Dr. Sharif, they are also talking about this issue. You see, pollution, river pollution. River pollution causes a lot of fish mortality, and this is a serious post-harvest loss. And not only fish mortality, it also destroys the biodiversity, breeding biology, breeding system, normal biology. So almost everything alters. Recently, we have studied the hillside taste, the impact of pollution on hillside taste and flavor, and we have found very alarming result that this pollution affect seriously on hillside taste and flavor. So this issue need to be stressed very sincerely. And another important critical point is capturing fish without icing facilities. For example, in our inland capture fishing boats, they don't use ice or ice boxes. They used to fish from 2 hours to 12 hours even to land fish. So in that long time, due to lack of icing, fish get deteriorated, and this incurs 4 to 7% loss as we have calculated. So another critical point is auction with inadequate facilities. Only some awareness and some technology, very simple technology, if upscaled, this loss can be reduced. Here, loss incurring is a 2 to 4%. And another critical point is ice preparation and supply of ice. We have more than 450 ice so far. In an estimate says that 450 ice manufacturing factory in our country, but we have found that in our study that 16 to 30% of ice blocks are contaminated, prepared with dirty water. 16 to 18 ice blocks are crushed on soil, and 55% of ice blocks are crushed in basket. So this incurs huge losses, and you see the handling before and after auction. And these fishes, these are pangasius species, and live fish transported from Dhaka to very far away. But after live transport, they just before auction, they just threw the barrel from the truck to the roadside. So fish eventually died, and after some time, deterioration started. And this is a fish packing after auction. You see. Due to lack of awareness and some ignorance, they just crush the ice, keeping on fish. So this type of fish packing after auction, quality loss incurs 7.5%, and here we have also estimated the quality loss in left slide, yeah, it is 10.5%. And here's the packaging and transportation limitations is also one other critical points for loss, post-harvest fish loss in Bangladesh. You see the excessive quantity of transported fish in a single basket. Here, more than 400 kilogram fish is kept in one basket. So with the pressure of fish and ice from top, the lower fish get deteriorated and damaged, and the quality loss is 22.5%. And on the truck, one basket is loaded top of another basket. And here also quality loss is very huge. 200 kilograms of fish are taken one basket and one top another. Huge loss incurred. These are some traditional fish processing. Some critical control points are there. Sun drying, salting, and fermentation. You see the upper row is for sun drying, middle row is for salting, Hilsha salting, and lower row is the Pontius fermentation. So in almost every cases, raw material fish are not handled adequately, not taken adequate care of. Therefore, loss initiate and processing and is also mostly traditional, and hygienic conditions are not so good, and that's why storage also not good, marketing also not good, and that's why huge post-harvest loss occurs. And this loss, quality loss, is about 25 to 30% as we have assessed. It is a quantitative loss. So through our experiences and our project, pilot project, the technical cooperation project of the DOF and FAO, we have some lesson learned that we need building capacity of producers and market actors on fish handling. We need to support in ice production, supply and monitoring. We need to upscale the low-cost tank ice box, other ice boxes manufactured for cold transportation of fish. We need to build capacity in value addition of low-cost fish and fishery offal waste. We need to promote entrepreneurship development on fishery business and value addition. And that entrepreneurship way should be based on rural areas, because that would then sustain production in the rural areas, and selling also, marketing in the rural areas. That will sense more sustainability. And enhancing market linkage to affluent city market to reduce intermediaries for increasing farms profit. And here we have renovated because handling on traditional fishing vessels is not good. We have revitalized or renovated the traditional fishing vessels, inland capture fishing vessels, in that way that we have just partitioned the engine chamber from other chambers, and then a tank ice box is installed inside, and other chambers are kept for live fish or iced fish. And we have been working on it, and it's very interesting and very we are very hopeful that this technology has been adopted by the fishermen themselves. We have produced, we are in a process of renovating like that way, but according to their way, they have been we have trained many capture fishermen in floodplain areas, and we are now observing that a lot of fishermen are using this technology in there. And here in the slide, as far as the loss reduction measures concerned, we need to improve the transportation system of fish. And in left hand side, you see the traditional transportation system that we have shown. And in the right hand side, we need to shift from this left hand side to right hand side. It is a FAO tank icebox. This tank icebox was constructed by a DOF FAO project that is called the ECFC project in Cox's Bazar in 20 years back. And within this 20 years, we have been trying to promote this technology. We have upscaled, we have through many different projects, and now the situation is like that almost 70 to 80% of commercial fish are being transported by this commercial fish only by this tank icebox from Satkhira to Dhaka to Dinaspur, Chittagong to, and from everywhere, from our areas to everywhere, this tank icebox are being used. And it has got very important features. It is complete insulation. It is very handy and strong, long lasting. It can last for 8 to 10 years. And the construction price is very low, 6,000 to 8,000 taka per piece. And interesting is that new livelihood for construction of this has been developed in throughout Bangladesh. About 1,500 entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs developed, who are just thrive upon construction, selling, producing and selling this tank icebox. And the loss reduced from 23.5% to 2.5%. And we need to change from this left-hand side traditional system to this left-hand side. It is also developed by that FAO ECFC project. It is also very smaller type of ice box, but locally produced, locally available material can produce it, and very easy technology. 300 to 3,500 taka, 3,000 to 3,500 taka per piece is needed for construction of one, and huge livelihood also developed. And this ice box is being used and need to be used for keeping fish in the market for overnight preservation. And you see the phosphorus loss reduction by technology. We have studied the impact of fish boxes on phosphorus loss reduction. These are the open track transportation by open track. It is a huge loss, and these are the bamboo baskets where also loss is very huge. But when we use it ice box or FAO tank ice box or simply styrofoam box, this loss drastically reduced from 24% to 2.5%. So as far as the loss reduction measures, value addition is also one of the important concern. If you add value to fish which need value added, or a small low cost fish or small fish to value add, then it can increase the farm price. So fishermen get improved price, and market force loss can be reduced. We have studied on value addition of Hilsa. It was a government Department of Fisheries program. And as a Hilsa has got a lot of pin bones, and it is very difficult to eat by children. Always avoid Hilsa because of huge pin bones, and diseased or elderly people cannot, or even foreign people, although like Hilsa very much because of its mouth-watering flavor and superb taste. Hilsa is relished by people globally. But due to pin bones, it is very difficult to eat, and we just wanted to prepare evaluated products of Hilsa. We developed Hilsa powder and Hilsa cube, and from Hilsa powder and Hilsa cube, we developed Hilsa soup and Hilsa noodles, and it was released by the people. And for Hilsa, the taste of Hilsa, both the taste and flavor of Hilsa are mainly derived from the polyunsaturated fatty acids of Hilsa. So polyunsaturated fatty acid is very difficult to make stable at room temperature, because if you keep Hilsa at room temperature, then readily oxidation of lipid occurs, and it becomes rancid and deteriorated. So we need to stabilize Hilsha lipid, and we developed the technology. It's very basic technology we have developed for stabilization of Hilsha lipid, and that paper has been published in Impact Factor Journal. And using that technology, stabilization of Hilsha lipid, we prepared this Hilsha powder and Hilsha cube. Using that Hilsha powder and Hilsha cube, a lot of products have been prepared. And we have also added value of low-priced fish, for example, tilapia and Pangasius catfish. So these are very low-priced fish in the market. Farmers are getting very low price and not getting much profit, and that's why you have added value. And these products are being marketed commercially in Bangladesh. And these are the local entrepreneurship developed in the capture fisheries. Small fishes from the capture fishery harvest are being added value to produce very different types of products. They are being produced locally in the rural areas and marketed also in the rural areas, and it has got a change in developing economy of poor fishermen during off time or lean season in our areas, floodplain areas. And we have also taken measures to debone the Hilsha, because Hilsha, as it has got a lot of bone, so we are now and we have developed a technique to debone Hilsha fish. And another important aspect is better utilization of fish offal waste. It is also one of the important post-harvest loss reduction measures in Bangladesh. We have recently assessed the quantity of waste. Waste is many different types. So one very important waste is offal waste is cutting waste, market cutting waste. So we have assessed the market cutting waste from major metropolitan cities. The amounted quantity is over 86,000 metric ton last year. And traditional fish processing yard, for example, drying, salting, fermentation, many different processing yards produced more than 100 tons, 1,000 tons last year. And shrimp and fish processing plants produced over 9,000 metric tons, total 200,000 metric tons, and almost all of the market cutting waste are dumped. Only city corporation being collected 16.67%, and they don't have also this use. But organized collection is 8.31%, and they collected it for producing fish meal. They dry the scales, also export to somewhere. And for traditional fish processing yards, 100% are dumped, no organized collection. For shrimp and fish freezing plants, 63.64% are organizedly collected as per EU approved rules, and these are being dried and exported to some countries. So this is the offal situation of Bangladesh now. We have also assessed the nutritional value of some waste. Almost all of the waste we have assessed, and as you see the shrimp shell, we found that about 50% protein are there. So we made shrimp shell powder, very stabilized shrimp shell powder, and from using this shrimp shell powder, we have fortified many different human food from this shrimp shell powder. So in my last slide, I'd like to conclude with some recommendation from our experiences and from our works of post-harvest technical cooperation project of post-harvest loss. Fill in gaps in post-harvest fish loss assessment. And this holistic loss assessment is needed on quality loss, financial loss, as well as quality loss. And we need to enhance capacity of post-harvest fish loss assessment and food safety through fish value chain actors, as well as the what's called extension workers. Enhance capacity to reduce water body pollution, very important. We need to stress on it through training, monitoring, and collaboration and coordination, and need a rehabilitation and construction of fish landing sites. This is very important because without a good landing facility and good transportation facility, we cannot even think of reducing our post-harvest loss, and sustainable coastal and marine fisheries project can handle this, and they have been handling it so far I know. Support to cooperatives in ice making, cold storage, transportation, also another important recommendation, and support to vendors or small-scale fish sellers with simple storage and transportation facilities like insulated ice box, tank ice box, other ice boxes, etc. Value addition of underutilized low-price species, conversion of waste into fish feed, human food, or functional ingredients, because there are possibility, because we can easily produce chitin, chitosan, we can easily produce glue or collagen. These are very important functional ingredients we can produce, or medicinal product we can produce to increase farm profit. Micro and small scale institutional credit for the fishery cooperatives with a zero interest rate to improve cold storage and transportation facilities is very important, needed. And we need to promote fishermen organizations with market access, simplifying value chain, and need for strategic plan in fisheries loss and post-harvest handling. This is all about my presentation. Thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you very much.